Namaskar, myself Dr. Brijwan Upreti, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jayoti Vidyapith, Women's University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. So students, today's our topic is bioremediation, okay? Very important topic for point of view of your examination and your competitive examination also. There are some very minute questions which can be asked in your examinations, okay? So what is bioremediation? So let's start with the introduction of bioremediation. Bioremediation is a branch of biotechnology that employs the use of living organisms like microbes and bacteria in the removal of contaminants, pollutants and toxins from soil, water and other environments. Bioremediation may be used to clean up contaminated groundwater or environmental problems such as oil spills. Okay, so you get the idea that we are using the living organism like microbes and bacteria for the removal of toxins and the pollution. Okay, so this is the basic introduction of, or the kind of basic intro of the topic. So how bioremediation works? Bioremediation relies on stimulating the growth of certain microbes that utilizes contaminants like oil, solvents and pesticide for source of food and energy. These microbes convert contaminants into small amount of water as well as harmless gases like carbon dioxide. Okay, so advantages of bioremediation. Okay, so bioremediation offers numerous advantages over other cleanup methods by relying solely on natural process. Okay, this is a very natural process. It minimizes damage of ecosystem because we are not using any synthetic one, we are using our natural organisms, so this is eco-friendly also, we can say. Bioremediation often takes place underground where amendment and microbes can be pumped in order to clean up contaminants in groundwater and soil. Consequently, bioremediation does not disrupt nearby contaminants as such as order cleanup methodology. Okay, so this is the introduction and we will start with the in India's horticulture production at 300 million tons, over 30 million tons more than the food production. Okay, so we are in 2016-17 we produced 300 million tons of horticulture production. Okay, second next point is share of horticulture in agriculture production was more than 33%. According to survey over the past decade, the area under horticulture crops has grown by 2.7% per year. Okay, which increases an annual pace of 7%. Means in one decade we increased or we adopted horticulture vastly and increases the cultivation area of total cultivation area of horticulture. Okay, 2.7%. Next point is share of plan outlay for horticulture, which was 3.9 during the 9th plan, increased 4.6 during the 12th plan. Means the horticulture plan outlay means every scheme or every kind of system works under a plan. In 9th plan we are with 3.9% of the outlay, but in 2017 we increased and we reached at 4.6% of area. Okay, so this we are increasing data. Whenever you are writing your answer in science, because you are a science student, whenever you are writing your data you have to mention the data, dates, percentage, how much in which rank we stand, how much percentage is increasing. That will make your answer more rich. Okay, otherwise only writing the language that we are increasing is not that much good. You have to write the data also. Okay, so next point is fruit and vegetables account for nearly 90% for total horticulture production in the country. The total horticulture production has increased from 211.2 million tons in 2007-8 to 311.71 million tons. Okay, in 10 years we increased our horticulture production from 211 to 311. 100 million tons we increased in 10 years. This is a huge amount. because we are adopting horticulture. India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world, with first rank in production of banana, mango, lime and lemon, papaya and okra. Okay, so this is a question of general knowledge also. In your examination, competitive examination, they can ask that India is second largest producer of fruit, but in which fruit or in which crops India rank first? So you need to know about the name of that. Banana, which is everywhere we found, mango, lime, lemon, papaya and okra. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers we are in rank 1. Okay, so you need learn this name of when you will write your answer with these examples, then surely you will get good marks. And in competitive exams, this data is very important. They always ask that in which position we rank for the cultivation of fruits, in which country is the largest producer of wheat, which country is the largest producer of banana, which country is the largest producer of mango. So India, you just remember banana, mango, lime, papaya, okra or lime. Okay, these 6 crop we are at number 1, but all over we are at second number. Okay, second largest. This is a good rank. Next point is potential of horticulture sector in India. Okay, but what is the potential of agriculture in India? Less resource input, pesticides, water etc are required in little amount when it comes to horticulture crops. Okay, when we talk about horticulture crops, less pesticide, water etc required. Okay, horticulture is not merely a means of diversification but forms an integral part of food and nutritional sector and poverty alleviation, and also an essential ingredient of economic security. Okay, horticulture is not a single term, because in horticulture what we included: vegetable crops, fruit crops, spices, ornamentals. Okay, these kind of, so this is a very diverse area, a very big area comes under a single term, which is horticulture. It is estimated that India has 240 million acres of cultivable waterland, wasteland, which is laying ideal, which can be brought under orchard crop without curtailing the area under food crops. Okay, so this is a data that 240 million acres of the area in India is wasteland. Wasteland is the area where there is no construction and there is no cultivation. Means the area you have seen around the highways, around nearby the buildings or nearby the flats, so areas which are not producing anything, means they are just not a building area, not a cultivation area simply. So this is called wasteland. There is no use of that land. So we can use this 240 million acres of cultivated area, and how much if we will use, if we are able to use this 240 million of cultivable wasteland, then how obviously we will rank at the 1. Okay, so horticulture crops plays unique role in the India's economy. Obviously we are largest producer of banana, mango, lime, lemon, papaya, okra. We will export it, and when we will export it, we will be benefited economically. Okay, by improving the income of the rural peoples. Okay, so cultivation directly related to the rural areas, village areas or the remote areas of the country. So if we will increase the horticulture land, we will use that 240 million acres of cultivable wasteland, then surely we will increase or we will improve the economic condition or the livelihood status of the rural peoples also. Cultivation of these crop is labor intensive, and as such they generate lot of employment opportunities. Obviously we will, if we will produce an orchard or a horticulture area, then we need labor, we need machinery to perform the machinery work. We need again a labor or human power. So by horticulture or by adopting horticulture, we are also providing the employment to the rural peoples also. Okay, India with more than 28.2 million tons of fruits and 66 million tons of vegetable is the second largest producer of fruit and vegetable in the world. Okay, on the basis of all total horticulture production, we are at number 2. Sure, confirm. Number 2. At number 1, on the basis of 6 crops. Can you name? Remember, banana, mango, lime, lemon, papaya and okra. 6. For these 6 we are at number 1. And for fruit and vegetables, for fruit and vegetables we are the second largest producer after Brazil. Okay, Brazil and China on the number 1, then we are at number 2. Okay, so this is a great amount, and after using that wasteland of 240 million acres, or definitely we will be at the number 1 position. India is bestowed with diverse soil and agroclimatic conditions suitable for growing a wide variety of horticulture crops, because India is a very suitable country. India, in the world, India is the country having a diverse climate condition. At the same time, we have winters in country, we have summers, we have arid zone also. Okay, we have hilly areas, we have desert areas, we have water areas, we have evergreen forests, we have deciduous forests. So n numbers of diversity we have. So more diversity, more production, more diversity of crops, more cultivation. So India is a very good condition. India having a very good climatic condition, so we have to benefited by this kind of condition. Okay, so we can utilize by knowing about this. Okay, so what are the challenges for horticulture? Higher input cost than food crops such as rice and wheat, because obviously when we will produce fruit crops, that will take time for maturation and cultivation of trees, so it's bit a time taking, a bit cost input. Okay, but after that we will be benefited more. High price, limited availability of market. Okay, market availability is bit difficult. Small farmers complain of limiting support from local. Okay, small farming, for small farmers it's not that much benefited, because for orchard development, for fruit cultivation, we need a long area where we can cultivate huge amount of fruits. Okay, so these are the challenges. So conclusion is that the horticulture sector has become one of the driving force for overall development of agriculture sector. Its product have more demand in local, national and international market. Despite significant growth in production, the yield growth rate of fruit was not very impressive. Therefore, it calls the technological innovation in the sector. Okay, so today's topic was that introduction of, or the condition of, status of horticulture or Indian horticulture, part 1. In next topic we will discuss about the part 2 of that section. Thank you. Namaskar.